I just seen this little story about Gabby Petito. The police describe interaction with Laundrie's parents as odd. I can't see any interaction with these parents as not being odd. Just my take on it. But let's watch a little bit of this. We'll discuss it as we go along.
3 weeks into the manhunt for Brian Laundrie, police are offering up new details about their interactions with his parents, describing the couple's behavior as, quote, odd. It was Laundrie's parents who led officers to the vast nature reserve where they've spent nearly a month searching for him. So far, though, they have found zero sign of him. CNN's Nadia Romero is in Northport, Florida, outside the Laundrie home. Nadia, tell us about these, quote, odd interactions.
Yeah, Jim. So Gabby Petito's family, remember, they live in New York. And so they called down here to the Northport Police Department looking for their daughter. They hadn't seen or heard from her in quite some time. And they knew that before she went on that van trip with her ex-fiance, Brian Laundrie, out west, she was living in this house behind me with Brian Laundrie and his parents. So they called and reported their daughter missing. Well, Northport police officers say they came to the house to try to talk to Brian Laundrie's parents, and they received basically a business card with the details of their attorney, and they were told that they weren't going to answer any questions about Gabby Petito. That's why Northport said the interaction was odd. So,
Oh my God. Yes, the interaction was odd. The interaction was crazy. Okay. And I actually think that Gabby Petito's dad just wanted to talk to them and ask them, oh my God, where is Gabby at? And did you know, I think he is one of their 911 calls. I think they called 911 on him for being at their door. And can you imagine him? They handed you a card? Really? A card. That's not just odd, people. That's bullshit. I mean, you're looking for your daughter. This is horrible. Your heart is already broken. You're scared to death. You just want her back. And they hand you a card. What a bunch of ruthless, heartless, bad words. Because, boy, I could spew them right there. I have never seen anything like this. I would not say they were odd. I would think they were manipulative, to put it lightly. And you can get worse than that. They know where he's at, you guys. I don't care. They know where he's at.
so the police officers were told by Brian Laundrie's parents that they last saw and heard from their son on September 14th. And so for the past couple of weeks, that was the date we were given, and that we thought he was going to the Carlton Reserve. But then it was just this past week that the parents said, oh, no, it wasn't September 14th. It was actually September 13th, a day earlier. And the lawyer for those parents say that it was a simple mistake and nothing to really read into there.
Yeah, there was a simple mistake. And the mistake was somebody took a video of that Mustang and knew that this timeline was off. That was the mistake. The mistake they made was they didn't cover their tracks as thoroughly as they thought they did. There's the mistake. Not, oh, I was off on the date. There's a mistake. Oh, no, there's mistakes, all right. But it has nothing to do with being one day off on this timeline. They knew exactly what the timeline was because they're making the timeline, you guys, as they go along. It's their timeline. So the reason why they came up with this is because somebody could prove they were off on their timeline by that Mustang being in the driveway and being on film and on camera where everybody could see it was there. So that proved them wrong. So then they come across with a different story. Oh, we were off a day. Oh, of course, that's what it is.
But Northport Police has been really facing a lot of criticism and scrutiny over the last couple of weeks because people wonder why they didn't arrest Brian Laundrie, why they didn't do more, and listen to the spokesperson explain their legal limitations.
I mean, the guy goes for a walk in the Carlton Reserve. He's not wanted for a crime. I mean, what are we supposed to do? We're going to go tree to tree, following him back through the woods?
No, smart Alec. I think he came back with a whole lot of probable cause. He came back in a van that wasn't his, without a fiance that was supposed to be his. So, yakety yak. I think there was probably some probable cause going on there somewhere. Oh yeah, you couldn't pick him up for murder. You hadn't checked on the bank accounts yet. But just the fact that he showed up without a fiance in a van that wasn't his, I'm thinking there was a little probable cause there.
I mean, it just wasn't there with the information we had in this case.
Not really blaming them because they are up against the Laundries. So I'm not blaming the police. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against them. I know that they were up against some master manipulators over here. And I don't know if Roberta and Chris already had this planned out, but it seems like they did. And it seems like they were very good on their plans, on what they had decided to do about Brian.
So at the time that they were surveilling Brian Laundrie, remember Gabby Petito, her body hadn't been found yet. So there was no crime. There was really not a lot for them to go off of. So
Her body hadn't been found yet, but she was missing. He had her van, and I can't believe that nobody checked financially what was going on with him when he got home. I mean, come on, if you dig, you'll find some dirt on him. And that's where I'm thinking is the problem. Not they couldn't chase him around. The problem is the investigative part should have went a little deeper. She wasn't there. He's there with her van. I think we could have come up with something to pick him up on, but I'm not law enforcement.
they couldn't arrest Brian Laundrie. That's what we're hearing from Northport Police. Jim, they're still looking for Brian Laundrie, the FBI now taking over this case. Here in Northport, though, you'll see it spreading on social media. The city says that they're going to have to remove the memorial that people in this community came far and wide to build this memorial for Gabby Petito over by City Hall. Well, the city says the rain and the wet weather has caused them to move that memorial, and a lot of people are talking about having a permanent place to remember Gabby Petito here in Florida. Jim?
That would be great. Now that I'm very happy with. I think they're going to put a really nice memorial up, and I would be extremely happy with that. It's almost like you really, really need to go and have a place to mourn. Because I think the world is broken over this. We're all heartbroken over this. You know, that was everybody's beautiful girl. And to feel like you've just lost her, what an awful feeling this is, guys. So I'm going to ask a few questions here, like, do you think that they could have done a little more in detaining our Brian before he, or not ours, shit, mine, detaining Brian? Do you think they could have done more to detain him? Now, maybe they couldn't have actually arrested him on charges. I see what he's saying about that. But could we have not questioned him? I mean, he couldn't even be questioned. Nobody even questioned him. And nobody even did a deeper dive into his financials, or they would have came up with that arrest warrant a lot earlier than now. I think that could have been early on, because you know this guy's running around using her stuff to get home. And what else do you guys think is odd about the Laundries? Because I think there's more that's odd about them than just handing somebody a card that says, oh, we don't know what to tell you. We don't have anything to say. No, that's not odd. That's being an a-hole and being manipulative. But what is odd about the Laundries? There's a lot that's odd about them, like a little camping trip. After they know Gabby didn't come back, I think they knew at that point that she wasn't coming back, and I think they were decking him out with supplies. A road map, a phone, whatever he needed to stay gone until the smoke clears. Well, it isn't going to clear, so you might as well come across with him. Yeah, because nothing's clearing here. You need to cough up Brian. And I know his parents know where he's at. And this attorney, whew, don't get me started on Bertolino, because good Lord, they picked a winner there. Okay, guys, tell me what you think. Please comment below. It's good to see you guys again. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.